Hi, I'm Jonine and welcome to my page. So today I'm going to share a short message and it's all about relationships, love, the three flames of consciousness within a relationship and twin flames as opposed to soulmates. So when you first meet someone, you're going to have an electrical response between you, and this is coming down to like an impulse, a sexual impulse charge. The sexual luminous life force is one and the same as the soul's life force. So it's purely just the magnetics of two people meeting. You'll notice people's magnetics down the street, wherever you go. That is a natural thing hardwired into our body to be able to feel that. So when you first feel that in someone, or that charge is released in you, you might want to actually be with that person. There could be something magnetic and you want to be with that person. And so there's a flame of consciousness there at the sexual center, and that is the really lustful, raw type of power. That's the procreative power that resides in the lower centers of our body. And then as this center opens and awakens, if it's within you, it starts to channel up to the heart center, and the flame of consciousness within the heart center is ignited. So you will actually experience a relationship that is sexual experience plus loving, a little higher emotions of experiencing love. But what happens here is, because it's still the lower heart center, because there is the divine higher mind center, you will be caught up in mirroring each other, your wounds, your lack, your stories, the different things. So relationships are an amazing accelerated growth period when you're connected and together. You know, all of the amazingness when you first get together is all there, it's high vibe, and then things start to diminish. That's because the subconscious and the stories and the things that weren't actually addressed through your life, and you don't know that some of them were even there, start to rise up. So the control comes into it, expectations, neediness, wanting. So then you have these ups and downs of a relationship that will be going really well, you know, sexually and emotionally, but there's these rides up and down. So moving into the third flame of consciousness, the divine mind, and what happens is the soul awakens and it shifts awareness up to the higher divine mind. This is more of an intellectual connection. It is the soul's connection to your higher divine self, and being able to see that reflected back in another person, that they are aware of their higher divine selves, and they're less needy. They're actually very whole and connected within. They've worked through the lower emotions of the heart. They've worked through a lot of backlog of things that have come up. So you're actually really aligned in yourself. And so these are the three flames of consciousness. A lot of people are experiencing relationships just purely from the sexual center and disconnecting and moving on and disconnecting. That's fine and fun and all of that, but if you're wanting deeper connection, it starts to rise up into the heart center where that flame is ignited, and you will find that you'll go together in a relationship and it will last probably 2 to 3 years, maybe less if it's really intense, because the emotional aspects of you are coming out. You're actually learning about yourself through that relationship, compromising, having faith, having trust, forgiveness, because the other person may do certain things or not be as aligned in their actions. And so it's all about compassion, trust, letting go, control, emotions, ups and downs, and that can work. That relationship can actually work quite well if you're owning your own things and working through your own stuff, that these hit and miss things come up. But as the soul awakens to want more, deeper intimacy, really wanting to be seen fully, to be known and seen in your really deep part of yourself that you probably hide and actually lock away, because it's actually so sensitive that you don't want it to come out, because it might get rejected or put back by people's words or certain things that are happening in your space. So you actually hide that part of yourself. It's really high, sensitive, very deep, compassionate, refined love. So as the soul awakens and this divine flame of consciousness opens and awakens, and you're in a relationship where they're operating still, the other partner's operating from just the heart and the sexual energy, there is a misalignment energetically. And there is the opportunity that the other person, because your energy is rippling out and it is it's a healing force, it will be moving through their auric field and it will be triggering. It actually triggers people. So it'll bring up their fears and different things. They get the chance to actually work through their stuff with you holding space. And they will rise through, drop things, not be so controlling, let go of stuff, and actually rise up and meet with you, and your relationship will go to the next level. It's all about letting go, releasing and growing and evolving yourself in relationships. So within that one that you're in, it can actually up a level. So what happens also in a spiritual sort of awakening, the heart, the soul of you wants more, it wants deeper intimacy, and your divine flame of consciousness awakens because you want to be seen and felt in your fuller expression of self, not the superficial external, like the body and flattery and different things like that, because that's all lovely, it's gorgeous words and different things like that, but it's gone and past as well. But what is really deeply here is your presence, your soul's presence, and to be able to connect with another person's presence and hold that equally opens the doorway to deep soul love, deep intimacy, and soul journeying. So you can flip between the three flames. Once you've got the three flames activated, you can move right into the lower flame and actually really enjoy sexual experiences. You can come up to the heart center. You might be in an intellectual mode. You might be operating and doing your own soul desires and really getting your work out into the world, but there's an acceptance. What happens is there's an acceptance between the two people that there isn't the control or need to make the other person be something. It's letting them be free and to be in their higher power of self and actually let that move through them. So you're not worried because they're an individual tuned in, tapped in to their own divine source, and so are you. So you stand as two pillars really strongly, but you can blend, you can merge, and then you can come back. But there's not the mergings of, say, just the heart and sexual relationship, where there's mergings, but you don't come out of it, and then there's control and all of your own past stuff coming up, which will then come to the forefront as either a fight or disagreement or coming at loggerheads. Yes, so it's just a matter of whether, and so the other higher aspect of the three flames of consciousness and actually connecting with someone with the divine mind, the third flame, is that you can soul journey. So this is opening up the higher tantric pathways within the body, and it's opening to the higher magnetics of your soul. And when you can open those pathways, a greater amount of divine love, intimacy, information, knowledge, knowing, wisdom, guidance, it all flows back in to you. But there is inner world experiences within that. You can actually both either be in an inner world experience together or be on your own as solo and experience that. So these are just a few little thoughts about love, relationships, and the different levels. So I'll just recap it. You can be operating from the lustful, primal, procreative, sexual life force, and that is okay in itself, but that might become tiring and monotonous and just not really doing it anymore for you. So there is ways to open those pathways, to open and rechannel and redirect inwards and upwards to the heart flame to get that activated. And then once again, moving up, once you have deep dived and moved through your inner experiences that you're clearing, it's like rocks dropping off the soul, flying. So they drop off, and then you can actually open the higher divine mind and go into all of its treasures and beauty and wonder and curiosity and mystery. And it becomes like a fearlessness that moves through your relationships. It's like fearlessness, independence, but deeply connected because you're actually whole within the actual relationship. Okay, so yeah, just take a look at where you might be, and then when you're meeting people, you can actually see if where their flames are actually awakened. Are they just operating from sexual? Are they sexual and heart? Are they touching into divine mind but just dropping back into heart more? And that's still a beautiful relationship. But if you want the whole lot, the three flames, yeah, you need to see it in yourself, open it to yourself first. You need to recognize it and not be afraid to open it and let it come out within yourself. then you will see it in another, and that is how the resonance of two people can connect. It's an inside energetic thing that happens. So it's really different to going out to wanting to connect with someone in a relationship that that person's lovely, I like the look of them, I've got the sexual charge, oh, I wonder who they really are. And then you don't actually know anything about them until you get together. And then it starts to play out. So it's all hit and miss, and you don't know where you're heading. It's like a minefield. So you can actually see through the words and how they operate and what they speak about as to see where their flames of consciousness are operating at. And that's how you connect with deeper intimacy and deeper relationships. It's an energetic observance and a feeling, and you can actually spot where their flames are opening. So yeah, try it out in yourself. I just want to quickly touch on soulmates and twin flames. I won't spend too much time, but twin flames are two people getting together. They are very spiritual, deeper people, but they're maybe not in their highest, like they're not actually in acting out and being fully owning their higher power. So they've dropped their consciousness and they're in the emotional heart center, and they're connected, and they're both spiritually wanting to awaken, but they won't let go. So it's like explosive. It can be very volatile. It can be they are usually a catalyst to your crumbling, to actually crumbling down your control, your fears, your worries, anything that you have expectations on. They will clash and bring out probably the worst, but also the greatness in you as well. It's simultaneously. You usually won't end up together. It's usually a few years or 5 years, but about 3 years. It's fast, it's accelerated, and kaboom, it's like, and you can be left like dissolved at the end of it, but you come through with renewal of knowing your higher divine self. And that's how that flame of consciousness, the divine consciousness, actually awakens, is through the catalytic event of that connection. So soulmates, that is the same, similar. Soulmates is where they won't bring out the worst in you. They're not intense like a flame that's gonna like burn you as well. They bring out the best in you. They can be fleeting and be in and out of your life very quickly. They can actually, however, stay together. But soulmates, they hold their own inner power, their core strength. It's a maturity of the soul, and they don't normally run, you know, like you're okay if it works out, and you're okay if it doesn't work out. It's actually that they have enhanced your life. They've actually, on your soul contract, what I've seen is that they're always predestined to come through in your life because they actually awakened and opened up the best parts of you, but it's not through the burning and the dissolving. So that is really just a quick way. But I better say goodbye to you all now. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there, and just I hope just sharing a bit about the energetics of the soul, sexuality and the soul, and how relationships dynamically work on the inner, what's happening when you meet someone, all this, you know, inner stuff that's happening, and you might be able to reflect on what I've shared. Okay, this could go on and on, so I'm actually going to say goodbye because I can see it's 13 minutes, and I really wanted to keep it to about like 8, so sorry about that, but I think it's pretty interesting stuff. If you want to ask me anything, that's fine. It really goes into so much more in everything I've just skimmed through. But we will be discussing a lot of these things in my 6-week online course that starts very shortly. So I'll put the link below this video for you to go and have a look, because this is really amazing stuff that I'll be teaching, and it actually lets you step into your power and have the life that you desire once you start to understand and know the energetics of your soul self, your physical self, and put it all together. Yeah, you can have the best. So, all right. Thank you. Bye.